Hey guys, this is Chandra and I'm here to do a tutorial on the Photo Folio 2. So we're going to make this. Okay, so let us begin. Alright, I'm going to go through first and I'm going to try to put all these measurements on my blog. So I will make a blog post for this as well. So if you don't get the measurements, you'll have to go to my blog and get them, okay? So first you need one sheet that measures 6 by 2. You need one that measures 7 by 2. Okay. You need one that measures 6.5 by 4.5. You need 3 that measure 7 by 4.5. You need a total of 7 that measure 5 by 6.5. You need a total of 4 that measure 6 by 5.5. You need 2 that measure 4.25 by 10. You need 2 that measure 5.25 by 11. You're going to need 4 that measure 8 by 4.5. 4 that measure 6 by 7.5. 2 that measure 10 by 7.5. 2 that measure 11 by 7.5. 1 that measures 7 by 11. And 2 that measure 8.5 by 11. This is the base of the folio. So if you have craft text, you could make it out of these pieces right here. So starting with the 2 that measure 8.5 by 11, you're just going to stick it in your scoreboard so that the 8-inch side, let me get it all the way on screen here so I know what I'm doing. There we go. You're going to score at 1/2 inch and then again at 1.25. Okay. This measurement right here, if you're looking at this just means that that's a 1/2 inch and this is the 3/4 inch. Okay. So you're going to do that again. So you're going to stick it so that the 8.5 inch side is at the top. You're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 1.25 inches. And then this 7.5 by 11, you're not going to do anything with. The next sheets that we're going to mess with are the ones that measure 11 by 7.5. Okay. What you're going to do on both of these is you're going to stick it in the scoreboard so that the 11-inch side is at the top. You're going to score at 1/2 inch and again at 10.5 inches. You're going to rotate it and score at 1/2 inch. So you're going to do that on 2 sides so that you have 1/2 inch scored on a total of 3 sides. Okay? Now, the 10 by 7.5, you're going to stick it in so that the 7.5 is at the top and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And you're going to do that 2 times. Let's do these next. The next one is the one that measures 5.25 by 11. Pop it in so that the 5.25 is at the top. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 1. Then you're going to rotate it so that the 11-inch side is at the top. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 10.5. And this is going to be the little pocket on the side. So you're going to need 2 of those. Then you're going to need 2 sheets cut at 4.25 by 10, and we're not going to score those at all. So now we get on to the pockets. You're going to need 4 of these. I've already scored 2 of them, so I'm only going to score 2 with you, okay? So these are the 6 by 5.5. You're going to stick it so that the 6-inch side is at the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 5.5 inches. Rotate it, it doesn't matter which way, and score at 1/2 inch. Because you just want the 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Do it again. 6 is at the top, score it half, score it 5 1/2, rotate it, and score it 1/2 inch again. And again, you're going to need 4 of those. And those were 6 by 5 1/2. Okay. The next pockets we're going to be making are the 8 by 4 1/2 pockets. You're going to need a total of 4. I've already scored 2 again, so I'm going to score 2 with you. Not with you, but in front of you. Okay, so the 8-inch side is at the top. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, and then at 7 1/2, rotate it, and then score at 1/2 inch. I'm going to do that one more time. 1/2 inch, 7 1/2, and then score it 1/2 inch. I don't know why, if you don't line it up in there all the way right, it looks crooked. Okay, so again, you're going to need a total of 4, and these are the 8 by 4 1/2, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch on 3 sides. 1 long, 2 short. The last set of pockets are the 6 by 7 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to put it in so that the 6 is at the top. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, and at 5 1/2, I'm going to rotate it and score it 1/2 inch again. 6-inch side is at the top. 1/2 inch I'm going to score. 5 1/2. Rotate it and score at 1/2 inch. And again, you're going to need 4 of those. Okay. You're going to need 7 sheets that measure 5 by 6 1/2. And what you're going to do is stick it in your scoreboard, so the set or any scoring device. 5 inch is at the top, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch, and you're going to do that to all 7 of them so that you have a 1/2 inch flap. Okay. Now, the next 3 are the ones that are going to be 7 by 4 1/2. Put it in there so the 7-inch side is at the top, and score it 1/2 inch. And you're going to want to do that 3 times so that the 1/2 inch flap is right there. Okay. And this one is 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Put the 6 1/2 inch side at the top and score it 1/2 inch. The last 2 are the little bands that we use to cover the waterfall style. So the first one is 7 by 2. Stick it in your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1 inch. The second one is 6 by 2. Stick it in there so that the 6 is at the top, and score at 1 inch again. So now that we've scored everything, I'm going to put this away. What we're going to need is the 2 sheets that measured 8 1/2 by 11 and the one that measures 7 by 11. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it like this so you can kind of see the measurements here. Let me zoom back out. There we go. So what we want to do is on this 1/2 inch strip right here, we're going to apply adhesive on the 1/2 inch strip on both sides. Okay, and then we're going to put the pink part on top of that on this 1/2 inch side. Okay, so again, I'm using my ATG gun, but you want to use some kind of stronger adhesive, red line tape, score tape. I know that the same people that make the Copic markers make a double-sided tape that's terrible. I can't, what is it called? Press it or something like that. So again, apply it to the 1/2 inch flap. Okay. And now I'm just going to place this. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. I'm just going to place this on this flap, but just on the right side of that fold. Okay. So you see where the fold is right there? My paper will still fold. And again, I'm going to do it the same thing. And I find it easier to line it up to turn my paper every which way. Okay. And again, if you were using craft text, you would do that. And so this is going to be the base of it. I did extend, like I was talking about here, This gusset here is only 1/2 inch, and I did make it 3/4 of an inch here. So I shouldn't have all this flapping around, okay? So that is that. For right now, I'm just going to put this to the side, okay? Because I'm going to make the pocket inserts and everything that we're going to attach inside that. So the first sheets that you're going to be messing with are the 11 by 7.5. So I'm just going to fold on all my score marks, and then I'm going to cut out the little square that appears at the bottom. Let me show you. There's this little square on the bottom, and all I'm going to do is cut it at an angle like those dotted lines are, okay? I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to do that to both sheets because we had to make 2 of these. Wanted to get these tutorials done before Thanksgiving so that if anybody was crafting on the Friday after Thanksgiving, they would be able to craft and have something to do. So on both of these, I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to apply tape to the flap on all 3 sides. Then I'm going to flip it back over because my flaps are going up like this. So I want my adhesive to be on this side. So I'm going to first tuck in the sides and stick the bottom flap on top of those. Now this piece that we had, the 10 by 7.5 that we scored at 1/2 inch, go ahead and fold that 10 or that 1/2 inch up. Leave it folded up, but place it on this. So this is what's going to create the big pocket. But you want that flap sticking up there because that's what's going to attach to the actual folio. Okay? So you have the pocket with this little flap here, and this flap is what we're going to use to attach it there. You just want to cut off the corners here. Okay? And you can see my blue is hanging out there a little bit. If it really bothers you, you can score. It looks like I scored crooked. You can see the score marks right there. I didn't fold it right. So we're going to do that again. Again, this is the this is the 10 by 7.5 inch piece. So again, I'm going to apply my adhesive to my flaps, and this time I just have my flaps folded in. I'm just doing it this way. So I fold my flaps in and I apply the adhesive. There's the bottom flap here. Again, I'm going to put my side flaps down first and then stick my bottom on top of that. I'm going to fold my little flap up here and I'm going to place it on top, making sure it's level on all 3 sides. Okay, and there's the second pocket. Now we're going to make the little kind of half pockety thing. And this one is the one that measures 5 1/4 by 11. We scored it 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 1/2 inch on both sides. So I'm just going to fold up on all my score marks here. You know what I did? This isn't going to work. I can't believe I did that. Really, what you need to do, instead of making this 5 1/4 inches, you just need to make this one at 4 3/4 inches. Okay, so So make this one at 4 3/4. And what's going to happen is, sorry. All right. So now you need you need 2 that measure 11 by 4 3/4, and you're going to score 1/2 inch on all 3 sides. Okay. So let's get back to that. Now, instead of the 4 1/4 by 10, you're going to need it to be 4 3/4 by 10, and then you're going to score it 1/2 inch. And by the time you get to this, you will have already known that I jacked that up because I will edit that part. Okay. All right. So for real now, throw those away. All right. So the 4 3/4 by 11 inch piece, you're going to fold up on all the flaps. Okay. And we're going to cut out the little square on the bottom on both of these, just like we have done on any other pocket that we make. I was trying to save a step, but I ended up making 3 steps. What's that song? 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And I need to change my blade again. It's a way you can tell if your blade's going dull. See how it's like tearing up the paper there? It's like shredding it. Now, this is 4 3/4 by 10. Okay. So, you're basically going to do the exact same thing we just did on the last one. We're going to fold up the flaps, apply adhesive to the flaps. I'm going to apply the sides down first and then the bottom. And then this 4 3/4 by 10, I'm going to fold up this 1/2 inch score mark, and I'm going to place it right on top of this little folder, this little pockets, okay? And what I was trying to do was have it all on one side, but it doesn't work that way. So now we'll have this pocket and we'll have this flap so that we can attach it. So now we're going to cut off the sides. Sorry if I confused anybody. Alright, so I'm folding the one flap up. Now this is the one with the 3 that we scored, 3 sides. So doing the bottom, or the sides, and the bottom. And I'm going to apply this 4 3/4 by 10 strip right on top of this. Lining it up at the bottom and the sides as best as I can. Oh, I've got a little overhang there. I don't know if you can tell it or not. I'm just going to cut it off carefully without cutting the other. So there's that little paper there. Okay. So now before I attach the pockets, I do want to attach these to this album. And this is where I got a little funky on mine. I'll have to get this out and show you. This is upside down. Okay. This flap here, the bigger flap, is actually attached to the page, and this little flap is attached to the bigger flap. Okay. But it's in a mirror position. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is take one of your pockets, and to me it kind of matters which one, because you want the fold to be down like this. So when we fold it down, so like this side I had folded down, so I'm just going to flip it over and attach it like this. Okay, so I'm going to extend my fold here. Let me get this on the yellow so you can see. All right, so here's my flap, and I'm attaching tape. Then I'm going to fold the flap under, and all I did was center it on this side. So you're going to center it on the side, not on the gusset, not on the middle part. You're going to do it on the side piece. And I'm just folding that flap in, and I am just kind of eyeballing it to make sure that it's in the center of the album. If this is 10 and the album is 11, so you want 1/2 inch side, or 1/2 inch on each side, okay? So now I'm going to do the second side here. And again, I'm going to apply tape to my flap, fold it down, and apply it to the middle-ish. And you want it to be just on this side of the fold. See how it can still fold freely? You want it to be on that side of the fold. Okay. So now that's all put together. So now we need to find these little flaps here. And I forgot to do the corner chomping again. I want this to be off of there. Okay, so I'm going to apply adhesive on this flap. And I'm going to fold the flap. And then I'm going to attach this right to the bottom of the bigger pocket. Okay, so that it opens up that way and this opens up this way. Do the exact same thing to the other flap. I'm going to fold it and apply it to this flap here. Okay. So when it's closed, you should have just about 1/4 of an inch before it meets your cover, so to say. Okay. All right. So you can choose to do these pockets the way I did them, or you can reverse them or whatever. So don't need the flaps, don't need those. I need my pockets. Okay, so we're going to stick 2 pockets on the front here. If you don't want the 2 on the front, you can put those 2 on the back and do reverse. Actually, you know what? I will make this side the way I did it in the video, and this side I will flip-flop it around, okay? That way you can see. As with any pocket, we're going to fold on all our score marks, and then we're going to cut out the little square. And I'm mitering the corners as I cut like I did on the other ones. I'm going to do that to both of these pieces here. And there's no particular, you could cut before you fold, you can cut after you fold. I've cut after I put the tape on. Doesn't really matter. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use the back of scissors. You could use the back of a stamp. You could use a butter knife. And you can even use your fingers. So again, I'm applying the tape on the flaps. I'm going to stick the bottom up on top of the side ones. I'm going to do that on both pieces. See how I didn't fold my flaps, but I'm still applying it to so if this is my pocket, the writing is my front side, I'm going to apply the adhesive when they're not folded to the front. Okay. So now I'm going to fold the 2 sides down first and then the bottom up. Okay, and all I'm going to do is line it up to the bottom of the page and just to the right side of this score mark here and line it up to the edge of the pocket itself. The second pocket, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing right above the first pocket. If you want, you can leave some gap in there. I prefer it not to, so that when I mat, it's a lot easier. So that's how you put those 2 pockets on. Now, the back pockets have 4 pockets. Let me write down really quick so I give you the right measurements when I'm doing the second side. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to fold on all our score marks and cut out the triangle on all 4 of these, okay? The last time I made a long tutorial, it was like, it told me I wasn't allowed to download over 10 minutes or 20 minutes or something. It was really weird. So I had to split it up into two. But then, like, I got it posted and then it wouldn't download, it wouldn't post. And then all of a sudden, bam, I could post a full-length video. It's very, very strange. I don't know. So hopefully, this is 26 minutes already. So hopefully I won't have any problems downloading. It'll probably take forever to access. Oops. You know what? Okay, so you need to take the 6 by 7.5 inch pockets. These are the larger pockets. And just apply adhesive to the flaps when they're in their folded position like this. I'm doing the two sides first, sticking the bottom down and doing the bottom. So I'm going to do that on both the large tags. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply these to the larger. Let me get this one out of the way. Oh no, here comes Kitty. Okay, I'm going to apply these to the big pockets. I'm going to line it up on the side and on the bottom. And again, I want to be just on top of that score mark. I don't want to be actually on it or else my page isn't going to fold right. So I'm attaching both of these larger pockets down first. And again, I'm butting it up right next to the second pot or the first pocket that I put down. Lining it up on my score mark. Let me see if I can zoom in since it's a different color. Should be able to see. Right here is the score mark, and I'm lining it up just on the left side of that so that it will open up. Now when you open up your folder, if you see any overhang, you can cut it off. Okay, let me zoom back out. You know what? I didn't even check and see. Okay, good. It's like, because the autofocus on this whole video, it's going to drive people nuts. Okay, so again, applying score tape, pretend, to the flaps, folding in the sides first and then the bottom up. And I'm attaching it to the pocket where we had just done the other one. And I haven't got that one. Two sides up. Bottom up. Sounds like I'm drinking. Bottoms up. Wish somebody would come in here because somebody needs to bring me a drink because I'm thirsty. Okay, so that was the left side, and this pocket I didn't really do anything with. I think I just left it as a pocket, didn't I? Yep, I didn't do anything. Now this side, instead of doing, because like on this one, I kind of have it like a mirror image. So these two flaps here, and then I have the two small and then the two longer pockets on this side. I'm going to do it opposite, just, you know, to show you that you can change it however you want. Add pockets, take away pockets, whatever. So on this side, I'm going to do the two long pockets, and those were the 8 by 4.5 inch. And again, I'm going to fold on all my score marks. And to speed up the process, if you do anything in an assembly line fashion, it will speed it up. So if after you score all your pages, you can fold everything, apply adhesive to all your flaps, cut out everything that you need, and then when you're ready to assemble, it's just bing, bang, boom. You know, it's just like really easy. And this album may seem complicated, but look, here it is, 30 minutes. And yeah, I had the paper cut out before I started, but that was, you know, pretty much it. I scored everything with you. So it is a fairly quick album to put together. Now, embellishing it might be a different story. So again, I'm just applying this pocket on the right side of the score mark, lining it up with the bottom of the page and the right side of the page. Applying my adhesive to my flaps. I don't know if any of you guys did this, but I remember when I was little, I would cook and I would pretend to be Julia Child while I cooked. I just thought it was so cool talking to people and telling them what I was doing. I don't know. All right, so there's those two pockets. And of course, since I don't have good tape there, I'm afraid I'm going to rip them off. Okay, so on this side, what I'm going to do is add the 6 by 7.5 inch pockets. Okay, again, I always fold my sides down first, and I'm not even in the frame. There we go. Again, butt it up. There we go. And these are the 6 by 5.5 inch pockets. I didn't cook dinner, good night. I guess I still could. It's only 7. Okay, 2 sides down, bottom flap up, and pop it right on top of this. We'll see if this matters if the bigger of the pockets. Tutorial there, free tutorial right there, how to apply your tape to your tape gun. Alright, so again, I like to put my sides in, my bottom up. Maybe I should apply some adhesive to that bottom side. Okay. So now I'm going to butt it up against the left one, make sure that it's straight across the bottom and along the sides. And so let's see, I was wondering if all the bulk, since all the bulk is basically on the right side of this score mark, if it was still going to close right or if it was going to be jagged up. So that side closes. Yeah, see, it's jacked up on this side because of all the weight being on the right side of the score mark. So I wouldn't suggest you put the pockets on the right side unless you're going to move the flap, but you can't move the flap because of these. So lesson learned, don't put all your pockets on the right side, okay? So for the little cascading waterfalls on the inside, this is where all these come in. So you're going to have the pieces that measure 5 by 6.5, and there are 7 of them. And so all I'm going to do is fold on all of these flaps, and I'm going to apply the adhesive here. This part you do have a choice. I have mine, my horizontal. No, these are the vertical ones. I have mine on the bottom, but you could certainly put them up here if you didn't want to. So again, I'm going to apply it when the flap. So fold the flap, line the score mark up with the score mark of this page. So basically this pink sheet, since my pink sheet is a separate, you want to put the first one lined up on that and lined up to the bottom here. Okay, then you're going to open it up and see where the green part is. Let me see if I can get in a little bit. That's where I'm going to apply the next piece. So I'm going to fold it and line it up against that fold there. There we go. There's all those. So then this 7 by 2 inch flap, we scored at 1 inch. I just used my corner rounder, and I used the 1/2 inch side and rounded the corners on 2 sides. And then I applied adhesive right here. I just kind of found the center. I folded the adhesive flap over. I just kind of found the center where I wanted my flap, and then I stuck it down. Okay, now when you apply your magnets, you would apply your magnet here, and then you will mat your pages. Okay, so there's that one. So these 3 side flaps here, we have 3 that are 7 by 4.5 and 1 that's 6.5 by 4. So we are going to start out with putting the bigger ones down. Oh, sorry, bigger ones down first. So again, I'm going to fold on all my score marks. You want to make sure these are straight. Smaller of the pieces, the one that's 6.5 by 4, you want to make sure that you apply that one last, okay? Just so it hides the difference in the size. If I kept on adding more, you can add more flaps to it if you want, but you're just going to have to keep on cutting them down 1/2 inch so that they don't fall past this. So again, I'm just going to start with the left side. I'm going to line up the score with the left side of the page, and I'm going to adhere it down. I'm going to like I said, you're going to have to cut off 1/2 inch every time you do. So instead of this being 6.5, the next one you would cut would be 6, and then 5.5, you know, and just score it 1/2 inch on each side. So again, this 6 by 2 inch piece that we scored at 1 inch, I'm going to round the corners on that piece, apply adhesive to the 1 inch piece. Again, I'm going to fold it and put it on there like that. And that is done. So again, basically, you don't want, you do not want to put all the bulk of this towards the right. You want it to be towards the left, okay? There you go. So then when you fold them, I always fold this one first and then that one, and then you can fold over your covers. Okay, so this, I think it's better myself having the 3/4 inch gussets there on the side than the other one. And again, you can make a belly band, or you can make, you can make another one of these with a magnet on the front and just attach it, you know, to the back of this and have it come around, or attach it here and have it go around that way, depending on which way you close your album. Okay, so that is the tutorial on the Scrapbook Folio. I'm going to give you the measurements for all the tags for all the pockets now. All right, you're going to need 2 that measure 4 1/4 by 9 3/4, 2 that measure 7 1/4 by 4 3/4, 2 that measure 4 3/4 by 4 1/2, 2 that measure 4 3/4 by 7 1/4, 2 that measure 4 3/4 by 5, 2 that measure 6 3/4 by 5, 2 that measure 7 by 9 3/4, and 2 that measure 4 3/4 by 5 1/2. Again, I am going to make a related blog post, so check out my blog at superhappyscrapper.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, by the way, it was 45 minutes, basically 45 minutes for this video. So it should only take you about an hour to make this book. To make it, you got to embellish it still. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.